This is Mongolian Mindset, and the Andrew Tate exclusive interview with PPD is going, so I figured why not go ahead and type Andrew Tate yet again, since people still don't understand his type. So we're going to go through it and type Andrew Tate again for you guys. So let's get into this.
This is why I'm saying some of our best days of our lives are in jail.
I was going to ask you that. You guys live here in this compound. It's an amazing place. I was going to ask you, you kind of just answered it, but you foresee yourself living with your brother the rest of your life?
1,000%. 1,000%. I can't imagine not wanting to live with Tristan. If you want privacy, you have privacy, right? We have a big house. So it is what it is.
You're on one wing,
yeah,
he's on the other wing.
It is what it is. But I can't imagine him not being around. If there's a problem, I just shout his name, or I just can't imagine it. And I know I'm my best self. Also, there's the overall male competition, the masculine competition that exists between us and between all men. So we live currently here. We got me, my brother's personal trainers here. We got camera guys here. We got war room guys here. We got loads of guys here. But I can give you a million examples. There was a record set next door of a gym, and there's a stair machine, and there was a record set of 188 floors within a time frame. I came along and smashed it with
This guy's informative as fuck.
198. I only held the record for 45 minutes because someone beat it with 202. As soon as the record's beaten, everyone gets pissed off and puts their trainers on, puts their shoes on. As soon as it's beaten, everyone gets mad. Who beat it? Who beat it? And everyone goes and did it. And that's how you push yourself to the level you never thought you'd be able to push yourself.
202?
202 floors in 30 minutes. Good luck.
230 minutes.
No, that's what that was beaten with. Now it's 222. It's been beaten again. I don't know if I'll ever get to that. But I'm still 198. I got to try again. But the point is, when you have men around you, there's that natural masculine competition, and that's what drives you. If you're going to be the best version of yourself, even if you're a boxer training for a fight, you train with a team. You train with other boxers. You train with other boxers or other trainers. If you're on a football team, you're pushed by your team. I think life should be the same, right? Imagine you took the normal average man and
if this, then that. That is introverted thinking statements. If this, then that.
You moved him into a house of 5 people, and you had a philosopher and a fitness expert and a hypnotist, whatever it was. That will make him a more competitive person overall because he's trying to compete with all the other people who are on his level. You don't want to take bitch position. So I don't like the idea of my life without masculine competition. That's why I'll always live with my brother.
And if you met a girl one day who says, Tate, I want to have your babies, live with you, but it's kind of weird that your brother's here, what would you say to her?
Yeah, a few of them have said that. I offer some degree of compromise. I'm like, look, we can have our own house separate if you really want, but I'm going to be spending a lot of time at that other house, including nights over. I want to stay with where my brother is.
So you would compromise a little bit, but he's going to be living next door or with you.
100%. And that may be unusual in the Western world. I don't think that's unusual in many places.
I love that, by the way.
Well, you talk about this all the time.
Oh, you don't even know how much I love that. Yeah, I love that. To me, as a kid, that was a dream. Like, if you could, right next to each other, there's a family in our community, billionaire family. They live right next to each other. The oldest son has the biggest house, 12,000 square feet. Then the youngest son has the second biggest house, 8,000 square feet. And the parents live in a 6,000 square foot house right next to each other.
Absolutely.
Okay? The 2 boys have 4 kids. The 8 kids are always together.
Absolutely.
What a great environment.
Absolutely.
It's a dream environment.
Absolutely.
I can't see how a person wouldn't buy into that, the benefits of it.
And there's also benefits to the relationship, because I think you have a better relationship with your woman if she can go
Talking about relationships, that's FE.
and talk with other women and be with women, and I'm with guys, and then you're together sometimes and you can split it up. It's better for everybody. This whole idea of just man, woman, boom, child, bang, I understand where it's come from. I'm not saying it's all typically bad, but I do
understand where it's come from. That's T.I.
I think that in those scenarios, there's a lot of men who are particularly miserable, particularly men, especially. And the idea of a clan and having that team around you, I love that. I wouldn't live any other way. I love living that way.
Well, being born and raised in Miami, there's a lot of Latin culture there.
Yeah.
And, the American friends, they just move out, move on their own. That's what they do. But in Latin culture, the abuela's living in the house, the family's living in there, the women are all kind of congregating together. It's a different world.
We can also discuss it financially, right? If you're a man and a woman and you have 3 boys,
he's getting the if this and that,
and they're, let's say, traditional Western, whatever, they all go and pay 3 different rents, and they all move in with their girlfriends, and everyone's getting wrecked, right? If you all stay together and combine your income, you also do much better financially. This is how a lot of immigrants even survived, especially Muslim immigrants in England.
I've heard you tell the story about that.
Absolutely, yeah, they all stay together in one big house, they all pool their incomes. You have a bunch of people with average jobs and Ferraris on the drive. And then they buy the house they're in, then they buy another, You pool the incomes. If you all
Progression.
split and separate and just spread out, you're just paying all different rents, all different electricity bills, and you just go broke. You have to think of the last name and the generation and the clan as a whole. So yeah, I love the idea of living with my brother. I'll never live without him. And yeah, his woman can move in, of course. His kids can be around me, of course. I'm uncle. Why not? I have no problem with that.
That's a dream. Let's transition to a couple other topics. So, I saw a video by the president of Microsoft, Brandon. I think it was the president of Microsoft who said, you're going to see one of the biggest threats in the future being deep fakes. Okay. And then you saw a similar thing being said by Google, Sergey Brin. You're going to see what's going to happen with deep fakes. And then the example of deep fakes was given by the actress from Wonder Woman. What's her name? Gal Gadot. Gal Gadot, right? There was a deep fake porn made of her. Then there was a deep fake video made of Trump. Then there's deep fake of Joe Rogan. There's one of Morgan Freeman. Hi, I am not Morgan Freeman. Kind of goes like this.
Wow.
So the direction we're going with deep fake, right? When it comes down to AI, where do you see the threat? Is that something you think about? Is that something you see as an opportunity, as a threat? And if yes, which part of it?
Yeah, that's a really interesting question. Deep fakes are certainly going to change the world because what we're going to have is we're going to have a post-truth society, and then the only way they're going to be able to tell you what's true or not is some committee which decides what's true and what's a deep fake, and then they're going to be in charge of the world, and then they're going to lie to you.
That's progression. Again, that's progression.
And you're really in trouble. So that's going to be very interesting. Once you get to the point where, what did I say earlier about not being able to trust your own eyes? They're going to take that away from us soon. Then what? Then you're really in trouble. In regards to AI, I think it has to be adopted. Inside of my school, Hustlers University, we teach AI with absolutely everything. A lot of the images we generate, even on my Twitter account, is all AI. And what's actually scary about the modern world is, I don't consider myself old, I'm 36, but some of the children, I call them children, 17, 18-year-olds inside of my school, Hustlers University, they're AI wizards, and they can do magic with this stuff. Magic. Like, they can literally, genuinely, Andrew Tate on the moon, and the image is generated in seconds. Like, artists are going out of business. I thought AI would put truck drivers out of business. Artists are going out of business. Musicians are going out of business. It's kind of scary. I do like to think that with things like AI, there's always going to be some degree of natural separation between the men who are genuinely inventive and killers and the men who are more... Let me change the way I say that. I think if you're an exceptional person, a truly exceptional person, you don't have to be afraid of nearly anything. But
maybe you change that mid-sentence.
You'll probably agree with this. In my experience, in nearly every business in the world, you have 10% killers, and then you have a bunch who want the paycheck. They do their job, but I wouldn't
talking about what people want. That's NE.
Say they're killers. You understand? And we live in a society for a long time where I can even tell you now, sometimes when I hire, I'll say to my cousin or to my COO, I'll say, look, either get one killer or 3 normal people. Because that's the reality. That's the basic. You either need 3 people to half do the job or you need 1 killer to do the job. And I think that those 3 people who half do their jobs, enough to not get fired, they turn up most of it on time, but they're not really that motivated. Those are the ones who have to fear AI. I think businesses in the medium term are going to become killers and AI. I tell them now, I have some guys who work for me on one particular company and their sales staff. I was reading through the sales scripts. The killers are doing really well, but the average guys, I said, you're not doing much better than ChatGPT could do right now. I want to warn you that you're not doing much better than I could replace you with
warn you, that's an NE warning.
Machine today, let alone in 5 years from now, for free.
Talking about the future focus, that's abstraction.
You need to be careful. So I think it's just becoming more and more competitive. The idea that you can just be Joe Schmo, do your job, turn up, I don't try that hard, it's fine. I think that's all going to go out the window because as the world becomes more competitive, as a company, you have to compete with your competitors, and the only way you're going to be able to do that is just where do you cut the fat? Where do you cut the slack? When I see AI popping up and getting more and more intelligent in the way it's talking, that doesn't scare me. But I have a way with words. If I was Joe Schmo, I'd be afraid. This chat GPT can probably text your girl better than you can. He'll probably get laid faster than you will.
That's a little advice for the guys out there.
Yeah,
right?
Just plug it into your phone. It'll do better than you do. So that's scary, you know?
That's hilarious.
I think that's what the average man really needs to struggle. And I've been saying this has been my message for a very long time in all realms. I've said for a very long time that life for the average man is going to get harder and harder. It's becoming more and more competitive. You need to find more and more ways to stand out and be unique. And the only way to really do those things, unfortunately, as a man, is to suffer. And that's one of the reasons I'm kind of
talking about suffering. That's SINE.
glad that God put me in jail, because if you look at anything that builds a man into a man, there's a degree of suffering. It's very hard to become a man.
That's usually on the axis of SINETIFE users. They're going to be talking about suffering a lot.
And have a man who's respected and has stories and is capable when he only had a nice life and nice experiences. It's usually the things that made you the best version of you are usually the worst things that happened to you. So the demons I carry from jail, the fact that I can't sleep. The fact that I can't sleep, I've had girls say to me, you can't sleep, you need to see a psychiatrist. And I said, absolutely not. I would be furious if a psychiatrist walked in here and took my demons from me. I don't care if they could fix me with a click, they're mine. And they're bestowed to me by God. And they're mine to deal with, and they're mine to fix, because that's how I become a better version of me. I would be furious if someone took them away from me. I'm glad I can't sleep. Good, I can train endlessly. That's why I'm bigger than I've ever been. I'll train I'm not gonna waste a minute. But all the demons that have been given to me by God and all the problems that have been given to me by God are mine to fix. I would never, ever allow anybody else to take them from me. I'd be furious. If a psychologist came in and said I could cure you, I'd say, no, thank you. I will cure myself. I don't care if it takes 10 years. I'll cure myself. That's my job. And I know that when that's done, I will be more mentally resilient than I ever would have been without jail. That's the whole point of it.
That's progression again, and that's SINE.
Right? So many men say, I want to be the man, but they don't want to suffer. They don't want to fight. And I don't understand why, because even if you look at a superhero movie, they
don't understand why it's TIFE.
Tell you. Even in superhero movies, they make it very clear. Batman's parents died. That's why he's Batman. All the bad things have to happen. There's no way to get there without the bad things. I get so many emails from people complaining about their bad things, and I don't have time to reply to any of them, but if I could, I'd say good. Good luck. Congratulations.
He believes that your SI experiences make you who you are.
Off you go. Of course she broke your heart. Of course you're sad. Of course you miss her. She's with me now. That's life. That's part of it. That's the only way you're going to get to that level of resilience. You can't become the man any other way. So yeah, I thank God for everything bad that's ever happened to me and all the demons. And I trust that he's not going to give me anything I cannot, in the end, decipher and deal with. In the end, I think it's a puzzle. And you decipher it, and you work out the best way to deal with it, and you internalize the good parts.
Talking about the best way to deal with it, that's systematic. Best way to do something.
I'm a better and stronger and more resilient person for it. So I have to thank God for every single one of them.
Well, I mean, you got to go through shit to be the shit. That's basically what it is. And by the way, what you're saying is not a hypothetical. You talk about being the average man. You see this play out on dating apps these days. Have you seen what's happened, especially on Instagram and on all the dating apps, Hinge, Bumble, and out there? The top guys out there are getting 90% of the women, whereas the bottom guys, I think the stats are a third of men under 30 have not been laid in a year.
If being average is not acceptable anymore.
At all.
It's not acceptable anymore. And it's not acceptable in the sexual marketplace, but it's also just not acceptable, I don't think, even in life anymore.
Period.
You have to diversify now so much to even protect yourself. The idea that you can just be a law-abiding citizen in a country and just work your job and be okay is gone. It's gone. If COVID doesn't prove that, I don't know what will.
Yeah.
Look at my situation. You have to diversify. You have to be smart enough that you have assets and friends and capability and lawyers and whatever all over the world now. That's the only way to protect yourself. You can't just sit within one jurisdiction and go, oh, well, but I don't speed, so it's going to be okay. I don't think it is. I think it's coming to a point where it's not going to be okay. And AI is going to make it harder and harder, again, for those average men. It's going to be harder and harder. I don't think the exceptional men are ever going to suffer from AI. I think we're going to use AI.
Do you think this whole Neuralink that Elon Musk just got the approval for the patent? So now the sale is going to be, look, no matter what you do, John, you will never be like Andrew Tate.
Yeah.
But if you take this Neuralink GT500/Tate, you're able to get upgraded to his levels and think like him.
Oh, wow, that's hypothetical from PPD there.
It's scary.
You type PPD, ENTJ.
My mother always says to me, I'm glad I'm not young. And I'm starting to say that now. I'm glad I'm not young. Because I'm telling you, it's going to be scary, right? Because the world is hyper-competitive. Every single thing in the world is competition. I don't think people realize I'm a hyper-competitive person because I understand that every single thing I want, somebody else wants. The girl I want...
Talking about what other people want, that's NE. Talking about what people... Talking about understanding, TI.
The car I want, other people want. The house I want, other people want. The lifestyle,
that's all in
every single thing you want, somebody else wants. It's a massive competition. As a
man,
man,
what
you
other
have two
people
choices.
want.
You either accept that as a massive competition and try and play the game, or you just try and pretend it's not a competition and live in...
He's talking about your choices you have here. That's NE some more.
Actual failure. And it's going to become hyper-competitive. The world already is. You're not going to be able to compete with a person with a computer brain. So you're going to have it because you can't compete. Once you have it, then who knows? Can they turn it off? I don't know. Can they turn you off? I don't know. Can they inject the slave mind programming directly through the chip? I don't know. That's scary. I would never want to do that, but it's going to get to a point where you're not even a person without it. You can't function without it. You're a second-class citizen without it.
Competition then, though? What happens to competition then? Is it going to be whoever has access to the best technology, whoever has the most recent upgraded version of XYZ Neuralink chip?
Absolutely. It's going to become scary. I'm glad I'm not young. I hope it doesn't happen while I'm alive. I don't know. It's going to be an interesting world.
Does it inspire you to want to have more kids, or you're like, that's indifferent? I'm going to have the kids. I'm not worried about that.
I think, yeah. I think in the 1700s they're probably saying the same thing. The future's over, and the future ain't that bad. So there'll be a way it will work out. I just have to instill within them the same values I have, and they'll find a way to work it out, and hopefully they'll be okay.
PBD, you always say the future looks bright. I mean, you must be concerned. You've got 4 kids.
I would have 20 more right now if I could. I would have 20 more kids right. I don't know how you feel about it. I'd have 20 more kids right now if I could.
Absolutely love children. There's nothing bad about having children. The only thing I wish I did is start earlier. It's the only thing I wish I did was start.
Well, listen. Right now, I don't know if you know. If you need some inspiration, there's this guy named Al Pacino.
I saw that.
Who had a kid at 82, and his girl was 29 years old, and De Niro had it at 79.
Wow. Well,
so it's never too late. You're
never
36.
Too late.
If you got the testosterone level of 32. I'm sure you can have 20 more kids.
I'll be okay.
Politics. Let's talk politics with America. You're seeing what's going on with the election. Mm-hmm. One of the vantage points you have is you're not there. It's kind of like it's your problem. You guys deal with it. Yeah. I'm over here on this side. From your perspective, YouTube comes out. Hey, all the election stuff you guys talked about, that we would ban it and take it down, you guys can talk about it now because we want a balanced argument from both sides. Okay, no problem. Who do you see? What are your thoughts on Trump today, 2024, DeSantis, Biden? How do you see this thing panning out?
Politics is so interesting. It's so messy. I mean, obviously, I'm a Trump supporter. I believe in Trump. I like DeSantis and the things he did. I'm not going to choose between Trump or DeSantis. I think if one of them won, if any of them won, it would be fantastic for the world. I think YouTube taking a back step is actually extremely important symbolically. It'd be interesting to see if they keep that up.
Talking about symbolically, that's abstraction.
Post this election, seeing what happens with this election, that'll be very interesting. But I think it's certainly a massive symbolic step back. I remember when I got canceled, nobody talked about Rumble, nobody talked about Kick, nobody talked about, even you got Valuetainment, no disrespect, you were a lot smaller then than you are now. It's crazy how fast alternatives have popped up. And I'm only saying this because I do feel like I literally said, I remember my exact words, I said, there's pressure behind the dam, everyone's tired of it, all it takes is a crack. And when there's a crack,
that's an abstraction and that's progression. Come on, stop playing with him.
Flood. And the crack in the dam will be a man who is more famous once he's canceled than he was before he was canceled. That's what I said. Now they're trying to put me in jail, which is making me more famous again. I'm not saying
that's a prediction, that's abstraction again.
It's all because of me, but I'm saying there's definitely a public consciousness switch where the arbitrators of truth are having to backstep now. They've overused their power. They overstepped their power exactly like we said they would, and now they're allowing open discourse. So I hope that America has a free and fair election. That's what I'm praying for. I think every country should have a free and fair election, especially when we're going to fly fighter jets and drop $500,000 bombs on farmers who've never made $5 in their day under the guise of democracy. If we're going to bother to do that, then we should at least have a democracy ourselves. So I think a free and fair election will be interesting. And I think the will of the people should be done. And that's how America was built and founded, and that's what I would like to see. And I do think that America does lead the public consciousness overall as a whole. I know what you're saying about me being over here, but I do think that which side wins does have an overreaching effect overall on the entire planet. America's still the most powerful country on earth. It'd be very interesting to see what happens in 2024, we'll put it that way.
Crazy question for you. He gets approached all the time. PBD, when you're running, PBD. He goes, listen.
I'll vote for you, bro.
Yeah, he goes, listen. I was born in Iran, made in America. I can't run. Well, when are you gonna? But you were born in America, Andrew Tate.
I was, yeah.
You know, you were raised in Luton, UK. You lived in Romania, but you are an American citizen.
I have no idea.
Dream with me for a second.
I have no idea.
If you were president of the United States, Andrew Tate, what would that look like?
I have no idea what it'd be like to be president, but I have a feeling what Putin said about the presidents might be true. Did you ever see what Putin said?
Yes. 8 years, they come and go.
Yeah. I've seen 3 presidents. I've seen a lot of presidents come and go, and they all come with these grand ideas. But once they get in office, the people with the briefcases and the dark suits come in and sit them down because of the strong bureaucracy inside of the United States and explain to them how things are done. And they never seem
talking about the system.
Their ideas done. They never seem to do the things they said they were going to do.
You include Trump in that?
I think Trump tried his very best to resist that, and that's why he's in the situation he's in. That's why they're taking him to court for no reason. That's why he was matrix attacked. I mean, if Trump, okay, let's cut the guard. I'm going back to jail anyway, probably with this matrix stuff, and try and kill me anyway. They probably are. If Trump's situation isn't a matrix attack, what is? What did they just hit him with in New York? Some defamation for defending himself against a lie? If that's not a matrix attack, tell me what is possibly else. Anyone who's sitting out here who actually truly believes that the matrix doesn't exist has no idea how the world works. The media machine and the legal system work hand in hand.
Systematic.
To try to slander people's name and convince the populace enough that they're guilty so there's no revolt, so they can hit them with a guilty plea. They've already decided before all of it. It's all a plan. This many months of negative news, then we'll hit him with this, we'll get him guilty for this, and with this many months of negative news, the populace will probably swallow it. It's garbage. It's a matrix attack from head to toe.
How much do you see yourself in Trump? And to use your words, first they try to cancel you, he was canceled.
Yeah.
Then they try to throw you in jail, he's dealing with lawsuits.
Taking by his Andrew Tate's progression.
Well, Trump's lucky because he's a bit older, so Trump will try and outlast him. They'll wait. My problem is I'm a bit young. You know, and I also think the reason I feel particularly at risk, and I say these things on podcasts to protect myself, and I don't want anyone to think I'm paranoid or crazy, because I really don't believe I am. The reason I think I'm particularly at risk is for the thing you just said. It's the masculine youth who are my fans. It's the 11-year-olds, 12-year-olds, 15-year-olds, 16-year-olds. They are the future of the world. They're the people you want to go and die in a ditch. They're the soldiers you need. Those are the people you need psyoped. You need them psyoped. You can't have a bunch of men who aren't psyoped. Mm-hmm. That's when you lose control of everything, when the men don't listen anymore. And they're all listening to me. And I'm teaching them things like God, religion, personal responsibility, accountability, discipline. And everyone's saying, well, why are they attacking Andrew for just telling the truth and making me go to the gym? Because when you have these things, when you have accountability and discipline and personal responsibility, you have a barrier, you have a parameter, you have a no, you have a limit.
Parameter, systematic.
None of the men are allowed limits. We must accept whatever we are given from our relationship with our woman, from the government, from our job. We're just the slaves. We're the backbone of the tax bracket. We just have to shut up and pay our taxes. As soon as we have limits, they have a problem. That's why they dislike the things I teach. What do I really say? What do I really teach young kids that's genuinely dangerous? What do I say? Go to the gym, stick up for yourself? Stick up for yourself, go to the gym, you're allowed an opinion. Educate yourself, be smart, work hard, believe in things, believe in yourself. Have friends, have strong friends around you. Don't listen to dishonest men or dishonest women. It's not misogynistic to say dishonest people. Non-gendered should be anywhere near you. You should have standards for who's your friend, standards for who you have relationships with romantically, whether you're gay or straight. You should have standards. Telling men to have standards is not a wrong thing.
Pragmatic.
Because as soon as men have standards, they lose control. They don't want any man to have any standard on anything. They want to come along and say, no, you need the 8th injection. Take it. That's all they want.
I think that's the
Talking
saddest
people
thing
want.
that's
That's
anybody that listens to your long-form content, not 60 seconds on TikTok, fully understands that you're an advocate.
All right, so with that being said, Andrew Tate is an ENTP yet again. Okay, what we notice very on is Andrew Tate is informative. He is giving extra words. He's trying to motivate action. That's what he's trying to do. He's giving a lot of context, extra wordy, whatnot. He's pragmatic, obviously. He's rebellious. He's an SIN. He's literally always talking about what people want. He's talking from a first-person perspective. He's talking about his experiences. He believes suffering builds men, builds character. That's more of an SENI approach. And he's a TIFE, using a lot of if this then that. Talks about other people's values. He's not talking about his morals. He's talking about other people's morals. He's systematic, obviously. He's talking about the systems, how they manipulate the systems, how to set parameters, will become relationships, whatever. He's obviously abstract. This guy's talking about hypotheticals all over the place. Okay, and he's initiating. Andrew Tate is a 8W7 ENTP. Okay, and this is Mongolian Mindset. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And we just dropped that because Patrick Bet-David was dropping a crazy ass interview with Andrew Tate, and we just had to reconfirm it for y'all. But we're out.